Gospel band takes fans on a musical journey. And Niugini celebrates 45 years with staff and family. And Governor Agarobe fights land grabbing in Central Province.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. Hundreds showed up for P2UIF's final concert last night at the Sir John Guy's Indoor Stadium. The two-day event is a grand finale in celebrating 25 years of the band's togetherness since its formation in 1993. The evening took the audience through a lyrical musical journey of the band's history from the past to the present.
Families, friends and fans of the much-loved PNG gospel band P2UIF showed up in numbers to celebrate the final concert with the band. MTV News had a chance to chat with two members of the band before the concert, Pastor Peter Bogembo and Pastor Benjamin Hakalitz, who said it has been an incredible journey for the band over the last 25 years.
Regardless of our struggles, whatever we've gone through, but I think we stuck as a band together for the last 25 years is an evidence of God's grace and favor and mercy that we are partakers of. So we're just grateful, and tonight just the night of celebrating and saying thank you to the Lord.
Pastor Hakalitz stressed that after this chapter, they want to focus more on the gospel at heart. It has taken a lot of work and prayers to see the band come to this incredible level.
Really, what we were called to do. And I mean, God is a God of setup, I know that. And He set it all up so that we can get to this stage right now. And then from there, He's going to take us, who knows? Only He knows.
Put a new song in my heart, and He gave me a new start.
The concert kicked off with an audience favorite, Forever Loved, which then followed with songs in which John Warabat, the band's amazing lead guitarist, played a number of solos which got numerous ovations. The band took the audience through a surreal lyrical journey with a special appearance by Australian country gospel singer Steve Grace. In between the different songs, the band's message was the same to those present, and that was, we've got a limited time on earth and we need to invest in something eternal. All their songs had God's love and the gospel at heart. They took the audience on a melodic, sentimental journey from their past to the present, which included a brass ensemble and string quartet added to their songs. The band has given 25 years to the people of PNG and would like to now continue its outreach internationally.
And to all our families and loved ones and provinces we went to that adopted us into their tribes and their families, we want to say thank you for the opportunity to having to have worked with each one of them. So and all the churches and pastors, the leaders that we were involved with, it's been an honor serving alongside every one of them.
Lilian Sopera Kinea, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says despite this year being a challenging one, a lot has been achieved. Among the challenges he highlighted was the Southern Highlands earthquake, which claimed the lives of many and left thousands homeless. He said the country faced a turning point with the decline in commodity prices, but despite that, we were able to successfully host the APEC leaders meeting. Speaking at his Christmas function last week, Mr. O'Neill said some achievements for this year were the signing of agreements with both local and international partners. The Prime Minister said 2019 will be a pivotal year for the country and called for the continued support from government departments and members of Parliament.
Maintain its expenditure levels to the right levels that is going to continue to deliver services right throughout the country. But more importantly, we are broadening our economic base as a result of our increased investments in sectors like tourism, agriculture, and infrastructure right across the country. As I said, the past year has been challenging. The earthquake in the islands is we lost a lot of lives, destroyed a lot of communities, and destroyed a lot of infrastructure. But let me say this, we are rebuilding each community and each infrastructure that has been destroyed by that earthquake.
The staff and families of Air Niugini gathered today at the Elamari International School to celebrate the 45th anniversary of the company's existence. The highs were high and the lows were low. These were the words of the newly appointed managing director for the company, Alan Milne. Rosemary Yambune reports.
Fun activities and games dominated the program of the day. The hall became even noisier with cheery voices as workers under different departments modeled the stage, showcasing their job descriptions. The highlight of the whole program was the presentation of awards to the longest-serving employees. When we hear Air Niugini, we think of pilots and flight attendants, but there are workers behind the scene serving the company and the country. Gima Ravu said this before we started recording her. She was the only female to have served Air Niugini as the training officer commercial for 45 years. She shared her opinion to the younger workers who have just joined the workforce.
My encouragement to the younger generation now, who are more or less looking at quick fixes, especially when you are coming out from with a high qualification, a degree, you're holding a special degree, and you going out there to find a job, and your expectations are so high. But you must also understand that you cannot. Not because you've got that degree, you cannot go straight away and fly high. You have to start small and gradually make your way up.
2018 was not an easy year for the company. The newly appointed managing director of the company, Alan Milne, commended the behavior of his staff who showed professionalism during downfalls of the company.
So I think 2019 for Air Niugini is going to be an exceptionally exciting year. We've got so many great plans. It seems we've turned the corner now. We're producing financial results. We're going to start looking at our customer excellence, what we can deliver in that space.
Rosemary Yambune, National EMTV News.
Also at the Air Niugini Fun Day, some employees were recognized for their services to the company. They were presented with awards in recognition for their work, among them longest-serving members who have been with Air Niugini for 45 years.
One of the longest-serving staff of Air Niugini, Kai Maub, has been working for the company since it was established. Since 1973, Maub has been working as a driver and a crane operator for 45 years. According to Maub, the company did not provide accommodation for him when he started working. However, that did not stop him from continuing to work.
Me ask him, company logi mouse only logi me. Let me stop the solely coming up now.
Another longest-serving member of the company, Morea Mayu, has been working as a driver. He said some of the younger drivers who came in after him gave up and left, but he did not. He said he wants to continue working for Air Niugini.
I'm also me talk here. Only come only looking Makmak. Makmak is not enough those days. Enough, so they work per year only go. Now me play stuff here. Me play look no right. I can afford it.
About 50 staff who have been working for 20 up to 45 years were presented with awards and commended for their contributions to the company. Patricia Chiamo, National EMTV News.
Thousands of children turned up for the annual Children's Christmas Feast organised by volunteers and business houses in Port Moresby. This year's event was hosted at the Agarobe Oval in Port Moresby.
Children aging from 4 to 12 years and their parents from Moresby South Electorate came to the Oval as early as 7 a.m. in the morning for the 9 o'clock event. By 9 o'clock, there already was a big crowd. Organizers of the event set up barricades. However, there was a lot of push and shove with parents of toddlers trying to stand in line to get the child's food. The event kicked off with song and dances performed by the children, Chinese dragon dance, and also performance by the yoga team.
On a feast and a bit of a show for all the less fortunate kids living in NCD. So every year we call out to all the community leaders to encourage their pickaninnies to come for the day, for the show, get some kai kai and then enjoy themselves for the day.
This is an annual event which has been going on since 2014 and is one way for all the business houses in Port Moresby to give back to the community. Craig Nolini said that despite logistics being the main problem every year, she said getting sponsors and volunteers is not a problem.
We don't have any challenges every year with getting sponsors to donate and support us because all the business houses really like this program. So every year they want to support and every year we get more and more sponsors supporting us as well.
Tamara Pia Agavi, National EMTV News.
Among stories after the break, Governor Agarobe addresses land grabbing in Central Province and Medang community pays tribute to a fallen officer. Stay tuned for details. Welcome back. Central Governor Robert Agarobe has petitioned Parliament to deal with issues affecting Central Province. Some of these issues include illegal land grabbing in parts of the province. At the swearing-in of the Central Provincial Lands Board earlier this week, the governor said Central Province has lost its identity over time.
It's made up.
For a long time, the rightful custodians of Port Moresby City have been marginalized. They have become victims of harassments on the streets and have their own land taken away from them illegally. Central Governor at the swearing-in of the Central Provincial Lands Board earlier this week said he has petitioned Parliament to deal with these issues affecting his people. Through the petition, he will be able to fight issues of land grabbing in the province.
And the petition, it was something I had to bring back in Parliament, using my parliamentary privileges, to get Parliament, the highest office of the land now, to deal with my people's issues. And that's what a petition. So Parliament is now in the process of selecting a parliamentary committee to address Central Province issues going back 135 years.
The governor also added that his people are not benefiting from their resources and proper city boundaries must be identified for development purposes.
Then we look at our resources like water. You know, we supply the city with water. We supply the city with electricity. Then we look at our sea boundaries. You know, we have the 12-mile nautical mile sea boundaries, which we've got a lot of container ships going in and out. You know, are we benefiting from that?
Member for Kairuku Iri Peter Iso Aimo also said sentiments of land grabbing in his district. He said the people in Sogeri, 17 Mile and Laloki areas have been victims of forced eviction from their own customary land by police.
You know, you've got landowners sitting on their own land, traditional land as they believe. They're not realizing that the land status could have changed during colonial era. So all of a sudden, somebody walks in with a title and an eviction order with police.
Minister for Lands and Physical Planning Justin Tachenko assured the people of Central Province, saying they will start the process of identifying city boundaries and they will look at ways to address the issues of land grabbing.
Because you can't do your work if we don't know whose land is what. That is as simple. So I think that has to be the first priority, to clearly define the central government or the central boundary of the province.
In response to the petition from the central governor, Parliament is now in the process of establishing a committee to address issues affecting the people of Central Province. Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
The Motukea International Terminal is one of the busiest ports in Port Moresby, with cargo ships docking in every day. The new terminal operates 24/7 with shifts starting and finishing on time.
Since its official opening in June this year by the Prime Minister, the Motukea International Terminal has been very busy. Imported goods and products coming into Papua New Guinea will go through the Lae International Port and Port Moresby in Motukea. With its fascinating impact on the gross domestic product, there are certain challenges that will face Papua New Guinea citizens if these ports are not careful with imports coming into the country. With alerts from the National Agriculture Quarantine and Inspection Authority on the African swine fever, imported products are now going through tight security inspection before being removed from the ship. Safety Supervisor Stephen Matthews says Nakia officials visit the terminal day in and day out to make sure goods are safe.
Nakia or customs, they are regulators, and they have the right to come and check anything that comes in, imported or export. We have a zone area, a designated area for quarantine checks, and they come in to checks. But before they come in, they do normal pre-checks, ensure that they give the reasons why they're here, and they go in and do the normal checks.
Matthew says employees are highly trained and they try to do their best to make sure nothing goes wrong.
We make sure that the regulations are complied by the government regulators, and the international standards are checked properly. Our workforce are complied to highly standard operational in the terminal.
Matthew said locals in the area from Baruni to Tatsana are trained and given the opportunity to work at the port. Michelle Stephen, National EMTV News.
The newly appointed Chief Justice of Papua New Guinea, Sir Gibuma Gibbs Salika, has announced plans to host 2 major jurist conferences in 2019. He was speaking yesterday at the Waigani Courthouse during the ceremonial sitting held in honor of his inauguration as Chief Justice.
When announcing the planned conferences for 2019, Chief Justice Sir Gibbs emphasized on the importance of the 2 meetings.
These are very important conferences insofar as PNG is concerned.
The 2 meetings will be held separately: the International Mediation and Arbitration Conference in March and the Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Association to be held in September. There are plans to include an arbitration center in PNG, which will be a main point of agenda in the International Mediation and Arbitration Conference next year.
We want to make PNG an arbitration center, World Arbitration Center. We've worked on a new legislation to new Arbitration Act. We've worked on that, and hopefully that will be passed by Parliament soon.
The Commonwealth and Magistrates Association Conference will look at enhancing respect between the 3 pillars of democracy: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary in the Commonwealth. It will be the first time for PNG to host this significant conference.
In relation to the Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Association, we are part of the Commonwealth. It's a Commonwealth, the Queen, the head of state, our head of state, is the patron of that organization. And being a Commonwealth country, we put our hands up to host that conference. This is our first time to host it next year. And so we look forward to that.
The conference is expected to attract jurists from all over the Commonwealth.
There will be a lot of chief justices and judges and lawyers from all over the Commonwealth who will come here. So that's another big conference.
Elizabeth Guka, National EMTV News.
With efforts to connect more coffee farmers to markets, a contract was recently awarded for the rehabilitation of a section of road in Eastern Highlands. Kasampi Construction, a local civil engineering company, will work on a 12-kilometre stretch of road over the next 6 months to connect more than 200 coffee farmers to markets. This road rehabilitation is being facilitated through the World Bank's PPAP program.
For Eastern Highlands Province, coffee remains one crop that provides income for a sizable population. A good number of organic coffee comes from this province, with production quantity and quality improving each year. The Papua New Guinea Coffee Industry Corporation has received support from the World Bank to assist in rehabilitating infrastructure to enable coffee from growers to reach markets, among them selected roads in key areas. This week, a contract was awarded to local company Kasampi Construction Limited for the rehabilitation of 12.8 kilometers of road in rural Eastern Highlands.
This is 12.8 kilometers. That's a road from Yasubi to Purosa. So, one pla road where Mbagara Pinis na coffee growers is all this is the backside. Plenty organic coffee have come this side.
This is not the first time for this company to be awarded a road contract. They also successfully delivered a similar project in 2017 through the World Bank's PPAP program.
We can talk about some work itself can speak out to others. So I'm only to look him now. I think PPAP only look him also. Walk me to walk him a good plalo. Kiss him all big placard on side. No, kissing coffee na kind of same now.
For this company, a commitment to quality is one that they will stick to, so that coffee farmers in rural Eastern Highlands can have easy access to markets in the province and beyond.
CIC look strong this la coffee here now only like by it must come out, so only through World Bank na PPAP only give me this la contract lo by me pla again straighten this la road. You sabe now I only need him road lo bring all produce lo coffee lo come out na putilo market na by Salem next money.
Meribatulo, National EMTV News.
It's not easy to be a policeman, especially when faced with a difficult task. It has its advantages and disadvantages, and despite the experiences that come with the profession, policemen are always reminded of the oath to serve and protect the lives of people. Those were the words of 29-year-old Constable Justin Baugen, who survived after floodwaters swept the police vehicle he was travelling in last year. His colleague did not make it out.
On December 12th every year, fallen cops Senior Sergeant Willie Marita, the head of the police task force, and Constable Clement Willow of the Meding Police will be remembered. At around 6:30 last night, their families and friends came together to commemorate their deaths 12 months on. At one end of the Tapo River along the main Lay Meding Highway, people gathered to show their respect to the two officers.
To commemorate
The two officers and the only survivor, Constable Justin Baugen, were traveling to Usino to investigate reports of passengers being held hostage and an attack on Raikos MP Peter Sapia by rascals. Last night during the gathering, Constable Justin Baugen recalled the moment which happened to be the last for his two colleagues.
Lago namelo wara karentem strong paitim side body blocker miare pairap karem suruk na sing out lem no tanim strong. Setiap lokar kambeken lo left side no at ilait na nara bla strong lokaren ken kami team side lokar mi blow off the bridge blak goran right side lokar goran lo bridge left side wanta William golo side mi blow out stop inside mi struggle mi la opini do strong gravity force strong so mi broken glass weda seal kamot lo window mi opini do sana mi sing out lo tupla puli mo kota bag belum ipla ol kago belum bla gan rausim kamot chet lo outside lo karna mi olian lo bosman puli mem kamot chet wan kala vilao mi puli tupla kamot chet mi pla sida anta lo body blocker lo left side lo body blocker ipla to sida no anta lo karo so bla 20 minutes the big play DYM come down roots play come na fighting pampa blocker tanim karna karem roll time karem roll mi pla put on 1-1. Over the cargo blow mi pla go 1-1. I mean na tingi manem tu pla go so nem tai tu mis tu struggle wara puli mi concept mi struggle kamanta si win go ogota clothes, ogota uniform, ogota weapon, ogota sandilo body, AV mi peraus, mi rausim. Go, mi no more strong, mi go down ogota wampla. Mi tingim tasol, family blow me, mi tingim Mary blow me, pigini, mama blow me, papa blow me lo place. All sleep on us hours, and now mi siliana nit lo warana. Ting blow me go style big pla, na family blow me. Mi struggle go, mi strong, se mind power, se mi less to die, mi young plant mas mi less to die, mi struggle, mi struggle. Go, like I do mi die, go time mi sing out the big platters. But God life, you like kiss him, you can kiss him. Mi no have more strong, lo mi fight, lo survive. Mi sing go andanit lo wara, la pit na, mi oli la pit, and float come and pass land, lo mi so mi oli la pit, and strong na, and pulling me go lo side. Mi feel him all leg. And grass, pass lo grass no, side lo wara now mi saw se mi stop side, so mi come on top, pulley wheel. Lightning strike now, mi look on blast with DY, so mi stop pulley me at mi last stand up like and die, so mi swim ta so go mi only ask with DY. Mi sing out help ta so stop and to play local or run Benny wara thoughts all come down. All arim now respond lo mina. Black Becky me go come, sing out only come, swim come. No help me go outside, time out sing out the police, no police car come down. Or policeman come down help me up in Putilo car, rush me lo Modilo General Hospital.
Candles were lit as hymns were sung. A prayer was made and a 2 minutes of silence given, followed by a gun salute as a show of honor and respect to the bravery and courage of the 2 fallen officers. For those who know Senior Sergeant Willie Marita and Constable Clement Willow, it was a moment that they will never forget. The 29-year-old Constable Justin Baugen is from East Sepik Province, but despite the tragic incident, he has put on his uniform and to carry on his horse, something that he said he had signed up for to protect and to serve. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The landowners of the Wafi Gopu mine in Morbe are demanding Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, Mining Minister Johnson Tuke and Bulolo MP Sam Basel reconsider the MOU signed between the governments and the developers on Tuesday. The landowners gathered today at Gengen in Mumang, Bulolo district. They are calling on the Prime Minister and Bulolo MP to explain why they were not included in the consultation before the MOU was signed. They said they will submit a 7-day petition to the government on Monday, 17th December. They are threatening to stop the developers if they do not receive a response from the government. And after the break, we'll take a look at stories making headlines overseas. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas, President Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen has been jailed for 3 years for paying hush money to cover up what he called dirty deeds to help get Trump elected. That made him guilty of a crime, the misuse of campaign funds. But as Trump has admitted he knew about the payments, he could be ruled a co-conspirator.
He once said he'd take a bullet for Donald Trump. It never quite came to that. But Michael Cohen's loyalty to his boss has now cost him his liberty. Today, the president's former lawyer was jailed for 3 years. But what does that mean for the man he helped to become president?
I met Donald when they were filming The Celebrity Apprentice at the Playboy Mansion.
When a Playboy model and a porn star claimed they'd had affairs with Donald Trump, Michael Cohen paid them illegal hush money to avoid a sex scandal that might threaten Trump's chances of winning the White House.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
Despite previous denials, prosecutors now say Donald Trump directed those payments. In court today, Michael Cohen said, "My weakness was a blind loyalty to Donald Trump. Time and time again, I felt it was my duty to cover up his dirty deeds."
There is only one candidate who will do as he promises.
Michael Cohen also lied to Congress about plans during the 2016 presidential campaign to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. But today, the president remained uncharacteristically quiet on the topic.
Mr. President, did Michael Cohen cover up your dirty deeds?
Next year, Michael Cohen will begin his sentence behind bars, whilst the man he helped to become the most powerful leader in the world remains in the White House.
New Zealand is expecting 100,000 people to flock to its terracotta exhibit once it opens this weekend. 10 of 2003-year-old Chinese figures are going on display in Wellington alongside 160 other artifacts.
10,000 kilometres from home, these ancient terracotta warriors are already asserting their power.
I nearly cried because we talked about history. Very strong, this feeling, yeah.
Only 10 are allowed to leave China at any one time.
Face to face, eye to eye is just an experience that you can't repeat.
These are just 10 of the figures, but there are thought to be around 8,000 of them. Now, they're incredibly intricate. Every single one has different clothes, even a different facial expression and different hair. And they're also thought to have originally been painted, one's just been found in China with a bright blue face.
There was a lot of negotiation as to which pieces came over. We really wanted a civil official because having a bureaucrat in Wellington seemed a very appropriate thing to do.
The terracotta army was built by 700,000 workers as part of the mausoleum of the first emperor of a unified China, Qin Shi Huang. The larger-than-life figures were buried in pits to protect the emperor in the afterlife, but were partially dug up in 1974 when they were found by local farmers. Now it's Zhang Yan's job to protect them. He says it's hard to pick a favourite because every day he works with them and they're like his friends. The $2.6 million exhibit is expected to pump more than $30 million into the Wellington economy by the time it finishes in April.
Yo, it's Saturday's news. Chukai Sports is next. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. Former SP Hunters player Gahuna Silas played alongside local players from Lako side to win the Southern Nines Grand Final. Silas, who played for Lako, helped the team beat Coast Brothers in yesterday's Cup Final match. Our cadet journalist Suli Suli reports.
With a long week of entertaining support by people in the Southern Nines tournament, yesterday was a match-winning day for Lako. Lako's centre Gahuna Silas, with great experience in rugby league, assisted the team to be crowned as the champions of 2018 Southern Region 9's tournament.
I'm feeling excited because what I promised, I just fulfilled what I promised the team. Like I said that I'm going to help them to get the cup, so I'm really satisfied, happy.
Playing amongst many talented local players, Silas says his involvement as an experienced player and being one of the stars in SP Hunters' team was to give them moral support.
Yeah, it's good to mix around with the village boys, and it's a privilege. Like a big player, you go and play in between the village boys. You lift their spirits, and they play to the best of their ability. Yeah.
Silas was awarded the man of the match for an outstanding performance in the grand final match and says he is looking forward for the 2019 Southern Region 9's tournament.
Yeah, I'm going to play with them next year to defend the cup.
Meanwhile, Lako's coach was awarded the coach of the tournament and winger Mega Pali was given the player of the tournament award. Suli Suli, National EMTV Sports.
The Erima Laumas have defeated Poribada Malagana from the Motuan side in the Southern Region 9's finals. Laumas were the bowl winners of the tournament yesterday after defeating Poribada 24 points to 6.
The Erima Laumas has been one of the successful teams in the Division of 9's Rugby League. Being the 2018 winners of Fazi Wazi 9's tournament, and the runner-ups of Snacks 9's competition, the Erima Laumas began their campaign in the Southern Region 9's tournament with a competitive showdown, beating their rivals in their pool games. Team led by Captain Anthony Abavu proved too strong in the tournament. However, their hopes of getting to the cup finals were shot when they lost to Mauro Eagles. In yesterday's bowl finals game, the Laumas walked over Porebada Malaganas in an easy win. Laumas coach Peter Popal says despite not being happy with the outcome expected, being the bowl winners of the tournament was satisfying.
Not that satisfying, win the bowl, but I mean, we all can be winners on the day, so we're satisfied. I mean, we're happy with what we got tonight.
Erima Laumas went home happy after the try-scoring machine William Tete was awarded the highest try-scorer of Southern 9's tournament. Suli, National EMTV Sports.
Central Governor Robert Agarobe says rugby league in the province will get 110% backing. Governor Agarobe, who was present to witness the Southern Region 9's grand final, said sports, especially rugby, will be a priority in Central Province. With the recent successful bid of Central Dabari's team in the Digital Cup, Agarobe said processes are now underway to assist and support rugby league tournaments in Central Province. Tournaments such as Southern Nines should be played in villages instead of playing in the city. He congratulated Tournament Director Ivan Ravu for successfully hosting the 2018 Southern Region Nines and says more of such tournaments should be hosted in the future. True Guys Sports continues with more when we come back. Stay tuned.
True Guys Sports.
Welcome back to True Guys Sports. To boxing, the UFC is buzzing over the rise-up of Kiwi fighter Israel Adesanya, while training partner Dan Hooker could be on the verge of his own breakout performance. Hooker has largely flown under the radar, but has a chance to enter the top 10 for the first time at Milwaukee, Wisconsin tomorrow.
In the freezing cold of Milwaukee, Dan Hooker goes relatively unnoticed. It's a bit like home though, where many still don't know how big this moment is.
It doesn't bother me at all. I think the real fans, this is going to be a true treat for them. Like, they know what they're in for.
And so does he, having called out 5th-ranked Brazilian Edson Barbosa, a class of fighter Hooker has never faced before. It's a huge risk to his unbeaten run of 4 fights since jumping back up to lightweight, but a risk he needed to take.
And I definitely understand where this fight gets me. That definitely puts you top 5, and then top 5 you start positioning yourself for a title.
Already in that situation is City Kickboxing stablemate Israel Adesanya. With UFC bosses determined to make him a star, Adesanya's booked a February title eliminator with the man widely regarded as the best ever, Brazilian Anderson Silva. But while the Nigerian-born Kiwi is one of the UFC's best self-promoters...
But this was like a walk in the park. No. This was a walk in the garden. Madison, baby.
Hooker prefers to let results do the talking.
Be myself, keep winning fights, and then all of that stuff just comes with it. I'm not going to change my personality to attract more people.
But will still look to make his mark in Milwaukee, like this guy did in the 1970s.
Hey, we found it.
The statue of the Fonz from the hit TV show Happy Days, which was based in Milwaukee.
Mr. Cunningham, you are holding on to my jacket. Well, what should I do? Let go of my jacket.
Hopefully, it'll be happy days for Hooker when the bell rings tomorrow.
To cricket, it's proved to be a tough opening day for the Black Caps against the Sri Lankan cricketers in the capital. The New Zealand attack had to work hard for its wickets, and the honours were probably shared despite a dream start for the home side.
Making a statement at the very start of the home summer.
Very close indeed and gone. Michael. Oh, is that an edge? It is an edge, yes. Aerial and gone.
Tim Southee ripping through Sri Lanka's top order with precision and swing. Southee taking 3 wickets in little time, the wary visitors on the ropes early.
Sri Lanka in all sorts of trouble, and you have to feel this is such a key man.
It seems Angelo Matthews knew that himself. In the blink of an eye, he and opener Dumath Karunaratne looked to be batting against a different team on a different pitch, making things look easy.
Flipped away. Big side. That'll be 4.
And when Colin de Grandhomme gave Karunaratne a life on 33,
nothing behind the line.
They set about making the Black Caps pay. There were few chances for the hosts, as first Karunaratne and then Matthews brought up half centuries. But just as New Zealand's fast start looked completely wasted, Neil Wagner does what he does best, breaking the 133-run stand.
Geordie taken down the leg side, and Neil Wagner, he gets the breakthrough.
Soon after, Chandimal followed Karunaratne back before Southee snared another on a fruitful day.
And he's got him. Finally got him. It's the plan has worked. They've been patient with it, New Zealand, and Southee has 5.
Sri Lanka lost wickets in the final session but continued to frustrate New Zealand, thanks in large to Nirishan Dickweller's half-century.
Oh, he's a nifty player, this fellow. Been a really entertaining knock.
Trent Bolt getting a feather on the last ball of the day. Sri Lanka going to stumps on 275 for 9 after a gallant fight at the crease.
And that story wraps up True Kai Sports. Up next, the weather details. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG. The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
Looking at the weather forecast in the southern region tonight, cloudy with showers in Port Moresby and Daru, also Popondetta. Fine weather, although cloudy in Kerema and mostly fine in Alotau. In the Momase region, cloudy with some showers in Lae, showers in Well. In Madang, cloudy with some showers as well. In Wewak, showers and thunderstorms, rain and thunderstorms in Vanimore. In the Niugini Islands region, showers and thunderstorms in Lorengau and Kavieng, a shower or two in Kokopon Mabau. In Kimbe, cloudy with some showers, and in Buka, cloudy with some showers as well. And in the Highlands region, showers and fog right across the region in Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
It has been an incredible 25-year journey for the much-loved PNG gospel band P2UIF. We would like to leave you all with an audience favourite that was dedicated by the band to all the women in PNG. Pastor Peter Bogembo said women play a vital role in society and in the community and must be celebrated. It was a wonderful, surreal performance straight from the heart, joined by the band's choir and string quartet, Angel Strings. On behalf of MTV News Team, pleasant viewing. Good night.
But in spirit and in truth, worship God. Living water welling up to eternal life. But in spirit and in truth, worship God.